Good morning, grade 9. How are you today? Today, inshallah, we will continue talking about reported speech, and in this time, we will use the question. Okay, we are going to report questions, and you all know that we have two types or three types of questions. WH question, like when you use when, where, why, what, how long, and the answer is basically a statement. Okay, and we have also yes no questions when the answer is yes or no, and in most cases we use auxiliary verb do, did, does, or verb to be are, is, was, or were, as well as verb to have, or as we said, auxiliary verb do or did or does. Okay, now each structure, whether it's a WH question or yes no question, has its own way of being reported. Okay, first of all, we are going to start with WH question. WH question. طبعا this text or this grammar is found in your student book, page 102. Now, I want to tell you that we have two ways of reporting a question, either by saying asked me something or wanted to know. The second way is wanted to know. This is number one. Number two, you need to look at this rule. How do we report? We put the WH question and then we change the places of the verb and the subject. We put the subject directly after the WH question, WH word, and then the verb. طبعا you need to know that the verb has to be changed according to the previous rules that we talked about it. If it's in simple present, it becomes simple past. If it's present perfect, it becomes past perfect. If it's present continuous, it becomes past continuous. Number one. Number three, you need to cross the auxiliary verb. We don't have auxiliary verbs in reported speech question. You change it directly into simple past, into verb to, without the auxiliary verb, and if it in did simple past, we change it directly to past perfect, had plus verb 3. The most important thing is to know that we don't have auxiliary verbs, either do, did, or does, in the reported question. Okay, so the rule is he asked me, and then WH word, and then the subject, and then the verb. And you need to cross the auxiliary verb. If it's in present, you change the verb directly into simple past. If it ended simple past, you change the verb into past perfect. Let's look at some sentences here and how actually did we change them. Look at the first question. When do you study for your exams? When do you study for your exams? The first thing to do is to decide the tense of this sentence. The tense is simple present, right? Because we have do and verb 1. And then you need to decide that do has to be crossed, has to be deleted, and you change study directly into studied. Okay? Now, we use the structure asked me. The teacher asked me, okay, and then you put the WH word. When, and then the subject. طبعا you, we change it into I because she asked me. When I, we said you cross the auxiliary verb, do, and you move directly to the main verb and you change it into simple past. So the teacher asked me when I studied for my exams. Again, when do you study for your exams? Here we said this is simple present because we have do auxiliary verb. In reported question, we need to cross it. And using the structure, the teacher asked whom? The teacher asked me, okay? And then you use the WH word, when, and then after when we should have the subject. The subject is I because she asked me. And you cross the auxiliary verb and you change the main verb directly into simple past. When I studied for my exams. Okay. Let's do number 3 and then we move to 2. What time does the train leave? What time does the train leave? Here the tense of this sentence is simple present. Does. Okay? What did we say we have to do with it? We need to cross it and we change leave directly into left. Simple past. Okay? He asked me. This is the structure. He asked me, and then you put the WH word. What? Okay, and then the subject time what time the train. Okay, and then directly you change leave to left. Simple past and you cross does. Okay, and here you cross do. Number 2. Where did you live? Where did you live? We said that simple past is going to be changed into past perfect. So what do we have to do? You cross did. Okay. And here, live, you need to put had before it. And you change live into lived, verb 3. So Ali asked Selma. Ali asked Selma. Where, the WH, and then the subject. Where is the subject here? Selma. Where she or Selma. Okay, and as we said, you cross did and you change it directly into past perfect. Where she had lived. So Ali asked Selma where she had lived. أهم إشي WH and then the subject after it. Okay. Number 3. How long have you waited in the station? How long have you waited in the station? Have you waited? This is present perfect. We change it into past perfect. She asked, how long? She asked me, obviously. How long is the WH word? And then you change you into I. Okay, the subject, and you change have into had and waited, verb 3. So she asked me how long I had waited in the station. She asked me how long I had waited in the station. The 5th question, how will you travel to France? How will you travel to France? Will, you change it into would, and you change it into I. She asked me how, and you change it into I. You put it directly after the WH. How I will, you change it into would. How I would travel to France. Now let's move to the yes/no question. Now the structure of yes/no question is you need to add if after the structure of asking. For example, he asked me or he wanted to know. Okay, you need to add if because it's a yes/no question, and then the subject and then the verb. Now let's look at the first question. Do you work from home? Do you work from home? Yes, I do, or no, I don't. So he asked me. After this structure, you need to add if. It's important to add if. He asked me if, and you change you into I. Okay, and as we said, you cross the auxiliary verb do and you change work directly into simple past. Worked, if I worked from home. He asked me if I worked from home. زي ما قلنا الstructure and then if and then the subject and then directly you change the verb into simple past without the auxiliary. Number 2. Did you meet Ali in the party? Did you meet Ali in the party? Here did is simple past. You cross it and you add had and met to the verb. Okay? Sally asked, it's obviously me. Sally asked, and we said you need to add if after the structure, and then you change you into I. If I, you cross did and you add had and you change meet into verb 3, met Ali in the party. So Sally asked if I had met Ali in the party. Are you going to the conference? Are you going to the conference? This is present continuous, right? So we change it into past continuous. He asked me if, okay? You change you into I, and with I we basically have was going to the conference. Was going to the conference. So he asked me if I was going to the conference. I'm going to leave the page in front of you for a few minutes so you can actually copy or have a look at the sentences and how do we change them. Okay. I want you to do exercise 2 as a homework. Choose the correct alternative. This is page 102. So your homework is exercise 2, page 102. And don't forget to go over the rule. It's also found in your student book here. You can actually have a look at the sentences and how did they change them, how did they change the tense as well as the pronouns. Allow me to thank Sarah Shurman for submitting her homework. Thank you so much, and you will receive 1 extra mark.